All right, so I'm going to do Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant for March 2024. Here's your session. Let's see, we're going to be looking for love, issues on health, and money. Well, I do like what I see there. All right, Cancer, this month has got to be about planning money and opportunities for money flow. March is going to be all about planning money, restabilizing, reorganizing, resetting the stage, reorganizing your friends, experiences with things outside the house, reorganizing everything. You may have had a bit of a falling out or a difficult thing from a lover or love relationship. Something did not work out there, and there's still a little bit of hurt feelings on that one. And also it has interfered with your ability to fully trust. It might, and if those of you who've had children might have also had some trouble with your children, or those of you that don't have children will have concerns and thoughts about either not having them, why they can't have them. So there'll just be this whole thing for March. I think is going to be a time for you to reflect on your family values, your family abilities to have a family, where you are around your family, what you're creating in your family. So I see you looking in the month of March about family and how you are supporting it or not. Money and stability is super important to you. That helps the family. But action with the family is what I'm talking about here. If there isn't enough action, you will need to look at that. If you're spending too much time focused on the financial energy and the responsibilities of life and not enjoying the young ones or the old ones or the family members around you, not really enjoying them, you'll regret that, and you'll see certain things happen and you'll be like, shit, I wish I hadn't have done that. So I warn you in March to think about the times you've already done it and to curb that a little bit. Make more time for your peeps, Cancer. Make more time for your close peeps. And if you have a limited source of support, you either have to figure out why that is, what your part is, sort through that, do something about it. And it could be as simple as being better, selecting better friends, or communicating better. Because although Cancers are, in the native traditions, we see them as the flicker, which is about communicating, and like the Morse code, the flicker is a woodpecker. So that sound that they make is the Morse code. And so Cancers are supposed to be good communicators, but they're also sometimes not good communicators, and that's what they came here to fix with the Cancer energy, supporting it. But some Cancers can get really wound up, really tight, untrusting, unable to share. And so those ones do need a poke. Someone needs to poke it so that they will cry or they'll let it out or communicate better, right? Concerns about money flow, programs, money in, money out. It's not proper yet. It's more money out than coming in, which means it needs to be switched. You might, if you're a witch, do some mirror medicine and switch that energy up, because to be honest with you, it looks like things are just a little bit backwards. And maybe you could just do some magic on that, or some magical thinking, or some manifesting with your mind. You Cancer people are very able to achieve magical things, especially when you connect with your planetary energy, which is the moon. So don't be afraid to connect with that moon magic. So Cancers love to have everything in the right room in their house. As you fully cleaning out the closet, fully getting rid of the things you don't need, fully engaging in relations with those that you do need. And also recognizing your part. This is what March, I think, is going to be helpful for, is recognizing your part in failed relationships. Okay? So, and I see that for some of you, because typically Cancers are very good with, their homes, their homebodies, they're cooks, they're cleaners. They love the space in their home. They like to organize it. They love to dine and wine and dine their people. They're entertainers. They can be very friendly, but very homey, right? So this shows that there's been some sadness in the home and not enough light, not enough joy, not enough gatherings. So March is going to be a fixing of that, a reestablishing the things the person loves. So March is good for reacquainting the Cancerian energy to put energy where it wants energy to come back, right? So those people it likes, the things it likes to do, such as inviting people over to your home, for instance, okay? And maybe doing a little cook-a-thon or a baking evening with some of your peeps, right? Something like that. I think March is going to be kind of nice for little things like that. It might not be big things. Some of you might be dealing with still snow and cold and people COVID concerned and all of that. But either way, I still see a gathering of people, even if it's just on Zoom. So Cancers, I do see you reacquainting yourself with your peeps. I like that. You may also be looking at issues with your family. March may bring up some sadness or issues with family members, especially unavailable mothers and overbearing fathers. Okay, we'll put it to you like that. In the workplace, I see you maybe also having to have yourself in more places than one to produce the money you need, because there's an awful lot of expense in whatever it is I'm seeing you do. So it could just be life in general with expense and not enough coming in to pay that. So Cancer, you're going to have to be working on those things. And also there might be some new competition or new things standing in your way. Sometimes competition could just be, distance, being too far from something. When I say competition, it means there's a lot of energy in between, meaning others could get there first, right? So Cancer may be dealing with some of that, some sort of thing like that. Let's see, what else I want to tell you, Cancer. As far as love goes, you look like you got trust issues. I'm going to say that. If you're not in a relationship, trust issues are there. If you're not living with some, I think you're going to be very careful about pulling anyone into your space. Because of the independence that you have found or secured, I don't think you want to lose it. So I do see, sort of you trusting in yourself and stabilizing yourself, Cancerian. If you're in a relationship, though, I will say one of you is not putting all their effort into the relationship. This could be obvious to the other. And if that's the case, there's going to be some discussion around it and some concern and some sadness that has to be resolved, right? I don't have any cards that say many of you are in awesome relationships. I can't even see one. Okay, maybe one. There might be a few of you that have children who really enjoy the process of being a mom, and that brings you more joy than any sadness that might be attached to your situation. So focus on what is good. Cancer, you need to do that for now. As far as your health goes, things that you're eating, things that you're drinking, any substance, anything like that, you're supposed to be mindful of codependent action. So it might not be that you're addicted, but you may have a bit of a codependence. Like something like this would be like, I always have to have a couple of drinks before I can sing, or I have to, whatever. You talk yourself into these little things, and they may be true, but you need to be careful of that too, right? Just be careful of that. Know thyself, right? Know thyself. Even the most feminine Cancer person, woman for instance, will be very authoritative this month. Even the most, the strongest male energy of Cancer will have an interesting blend of feminine energy. So what am I saying about Cancer? This month, I see you finding your center, finding your balance. And you've been up, down, and all around, and still dealing with a broken heart. But either way, I see the bottom line is you getting it together here, figuring it all out, being your own best friend. That's a wonderful thing to see. restabilizing yourself, recommitting yourself to areas that you want to be working in. I see nothing but opportunity and happiness because of it. Dealing with whatever codependent behavior you still maybe cling to. There might be a few things that you have to work on, more self-related though. If I say for the bottom line, it's more self-related. So March is going to be about you connecting with self, source, and putting yourself in some sort of regimen that you feel good and strong about, removing obstacles and admitting mistakes, but coming to terms with things and pulling people back in, having a good time, a few, not a lot, but just a handful of people, pulling them back in. And I see the workplace, you're gonna have some questions about the workplace. You're going to have some questions about the workplace. I'm going to say March is going to be a bit of an issue in the workplace. I'm not sure all the reasons why, but I can see some of them. There would be for having made foolish decisions, made foolish mistakes, believed or trusted in others that maybe didn't fully deserve, or maybe you just leaned on them without realizing their past or their natural behavior. So you've made some wrong decisions, and I think that you're going to be really looking at that and likely well, in March, I got to say this, be careful not to make a mistake in your decisions there. Don't always make them from the heart. That's what I got to say to you, Cancer. And you're capable of making decisions from the heart, which could cause you problems. And so I'm going to say, those of you that are heart-based type of cancers, you could be making decisions from the heart that really aren't good ones for you. So be mindful of that. And those of you that are kind of colder in your way, I think you're being told to make your decisions with more thought. That's a good way to put it. Okay? There you go. So, health, stress-related health issues are the bigger deal. And headaches, maybe a little tummy grumbling, nothing serious. But because you're dealing with a lot of stuff and trying to sort it out, it could create a little impact on, rumbly tummy and a bit of a headache, maybe from crying or, from thinking too much, that type of a thing. But focus on the joy of youth and young ones around you and young activity. Remember how important the energy of lightheartedness is. Don't forget, you're a moon planet, Cancer, and you can be moody, you can be difficult, you can be, and more likely than not likely, you will be, even in March. But know this about yourself and sort of make way so that others don't get caught in your wake, right? And if you have psychic skills, it says to trust in them and work with them.